Most men don't realize that guilt doesn't live equally in both sexes. When a man hurts someone, the echo stays with him. He replays the moment, dissecting every word, every silence, every shift in tone. He wonders what he could have done differently, how he could have protected what he lost. It becomes a kind of torment, a lesson carved into his conscience. But when a woman hurts a man, especially one who gave her love, protection, and loyalty, she often walks away untouched by that same haunting. Her tears may come for a moment, but they are for her discomfort, not for his destruction. Modern conditioning has rewritten her emotional code. She's been taught that her happiness is sacred, that her desires justify her actions. Society reinforces this by celebrating her independence every time she leaves something good in pursuit of something that simply feels new. She is praised for choosing herself, no matter who she hurts in the process. The narrative tells her that she's not cruel, she's empowered. And so, she convinces herself that leaving him behind was self-love, not betrayal. When she walks away, she doesn't feel the same weight he carries. Not because she's heartless, but because the world has numbed her to the idea of guilt. It tells her that remorse is weakness, that accountability is oppression, that she owes no one an explanation for following her emotions. But guilt requires empathy, and empathy requires the courage to look at yourself without justification. Most men do that naturally. Most women today are told not to. And that's why, when she moves on, she seems so free, because she's never had to face the part of herself that destroys. She doesn't carry the guilt he does, because she was never taught to. A woman's emotions are a language of the present moment. She feels, reacts, and moves with what she senses now, not with what she promised yesterday. Her truth is fluid, it shifts with her mood, her environment, her validation. That's why one day she can look into your eyes and swear you're everything she's ever wanted, and the next, she can pull away as if you never existed. Her affection isn't always built on reason, it's driven by emotion. When her feelings change, her reality changes with them. In her mind, leaving isn't betrayal, it's alignment. She believes she's following her heart, even when that heart leaves behind the one who gave her everything. You, on the other hand, are built differently. You don't bond through fleeting emotions, you bond through consistency, effort, and loyalty. You invest slowly but deeply, and once you've given your heart, it's not something you can simply retract. You stay even when it hurts, because your love is a decision, not a feeling. That's the divide that makes heartbreak so one-sided. She's able to detach because her emotions have shifted, you're unable to let go because your commitment never depended on emotion, it depended on choice. When she moves on, she doesn't see it as cruel. She sees it as honest, as doing what's right for her. But what she calls honesty is often just emotional impulsiveness dressed as self-awareness. She mistakes change for growth and loss for liberation. And while she seeks something new to feel alive, you're left piecing together what was real and what was momentary. It's not that she never cared, it's that she only knew how to love when it felt easy. When the feeling faded, so did the meaning. Guilt is supposed to be the voice that keeps us human, the quiet whisper that reminds us when we've done wrong, when we've crossed a line, when we've hurt someone who didn't deserve it. But somewhere along the way, that voice was silenced. Today, people don't measure right and wrong by integrity anymore, they measure it by emotion. If it feels good, it must be right. If it feels uncomfortable, it must be toxic. This emotional logic has replaced moral compass with self-justification, and nowhere is that more visible than in how modern women process guilt. She doesn't feel guilty for leaving someone who loved her, because the world told her she was simply choosing herself. She doesn't question her actions, because every platform, every voice online, reassures her that self-prioritization is strength. Accountability has been replaced with validation. As long as she can convince herself that her happiness demanded the destruction of yours, she'll sleep peacefully at night. In her eyes, she's not the one who betrayed you, she's the one who finally found herself. But guilt doesn't disappear just because it's ignored. It gets buried under layers of rationalization, under endless distractions, under the noise of fake empowerment. She learns to silence that small voice of conscience by surrounding herself with people who echo the same delusions. Yet deep down, a part of her knows the truth. It shows in the way she avoids reflection, in the way she distracts herself with constant motion. The compass still exists, it just points to comfort instead of conscience. And while she might believe she's escaped the weight of guilt, what she's really done is trade it for emptiness. Because no one can truly find peace in self-deception, they can only delay the moment it catches up to them. While she escapes into distractions, you fall into reflection. Her way of coping is avoidance, yours is introspection. You replay the story not to justify yourself, but to understand what went wrong. You search for meaning in the silence, for lessons in the loss. Every moment becomes a mirror showing you pieces of yourself you never noticed before. Pain becomes your teacher, forcing you to confront your patterns, your expectations, your weaknesses. You begin to see that heartbreak doesn't just destroy, it refines. It strips away illusions and forces you to face the raw truth of who you are without her. She, on the other hand, runs from that truth. Her coping mechanism is speed, new faces, new conversations, new distractions to drown out the echo of what she's done. But no matter how far she goes, time doesn't erase the truth, it only delays it. You, however, don't run. You sit in the storm until it reshapes you. That's what separates the masculine and feminine responses to pain. You evolve through confrontation, she escapes through denial. At first, your guilt feels like a burden, a punishment for caring too deeply. But as time passes, it becomes your forge. You learn to hold your emotions without letting them control you. You begin to understand that your pain was never proof of weakness, it was evidence of depth. You feel everything she avoids, and in that, you gain something she'll never touch, awareness. Guilt transforms into wisdom, sorrow into strength. You emerge from that emotional fire sharper, calmer, and more grounded. While she tries to forget, you remember, and that memory, though painful, becomes your greatest advantage. Because those who reflect grow, and those who run remain the same. Eventually, you stop explaining yourself. You stop trying to prove your worth or justify your pain. You realize that no amount of talking can make someone see what they've already decided to ignore. So you choose silence, not as surrender, but as power. Your silence becomes the boundary that words could never protect. It speaks for you in a language she can't escape. She'll sense it in your absence, in your calm, in the way you no longer react. That's when she'll start to notice what she once took for granted, the energy you brought, the peace you provided, the effort you gave without being asked. At first, she might mistake your silence for weakness, thinking you're still waiting, still hurting. But silence is never weakness when it's chosen. It's control. It's detachment. It's the moment you stop participating in the cycle of blame and reaction. She'll talk about you to others, trying to shape the narrative in your favor, but stories lose power when the other person refuses to engage. Over time, that calm emptiness starts to unsettle her. She realizes that she can no longer access your energy, your validation, your care. That absence becomes louder than any argument. Silence isn't revenge, it's reflection turned outward. It forces her to confront herself without the noise of your explanations. And that's where guilt finally begins to surface. Not because you punished her, but because your peace exposes her chaos. You no longer need her to understand your pain, you've already made peace with it. And in that quiet, she finally hears the sound of what she lost, not your voice, not your affection, but the version of herself that only existed in your presence. That realization, silent and piercing, becomes her truest punishment. Time always brings balance, even when it seems silent. The universe doesn't forget the energy we send out, it simply waits for the right moment to return it. What she once called freedom slowly turns into loneliness. What she thought was self-liberation becomes isolation. The men she meets afterward mirror the very behaviors she once justified in herself. They are distant, inconsistent, and emotionally unavailable, the same traits she once claimed to hate in you. She begins to experience the very confusion she once caused, the same emotional emptiness she left you with. It's not punishment, it's reflection. Life always teaches through repetition until the lesson is learned. In the beginning, she doesn't notice it. She still feels in control, still believes she's winning. But as the months pass and the novelty fades, she starts to see the pattern. The temporary attention no longer fills the silence. The compliments no longer heal the void. Every connection feels shallow, every conversation feels rehearsed. And when she looks back, she realizes that what she once called boring stability was actually peace. What she dismissed as predictability was loyalty. The guilt she once buried begins to resurface, not as sharp regret, but as quiet restlessness. You won't have to say a word. Time does what guilt couldn't, it shows her the contrast. She'll see your patience in the chaos of others, your effort in their indifference, your steadiness in their inconsistency. That's when she understands what she destroyed, but by then, the damage is irreversible. You've already healed, already evolved, already outgrown the version of yourself that needed her. The universe doesn't seek revenge, it restores balance. And the same pain that once broke you becomes the mirror through which she finally sees herself clearly. You begin to rise quietly, without the need to announce your transformation. The pain that once consumed you becomes the fire that tempers your soul. Every sleepless night, every unanswered question, every moment you spent doubting your worth now becomes fuel for your growth. You stop chasing explanations and start chasing improvement. You no longer seek validation from others because you've learned that peace isn't found in being understood, it's found in understanding yourself. The chaos she left behind becomes your classroom, and through the lessons of loss, you rediscover discipline, focus, and inner strength. You start to see things differently. You realize that love is not about possession, it's about alignment. You learn to protect your energy instead of offering it freely. You stop mistaking attachment for loyalty and silence for weakness. The version of you that once begged to be seen evolves into someone who no longer needs to be noticed. You begin to value solitude more than company, truth more than comfort. The void she left behind no longer feels like emptiness, it feels like space for something greater. Slowly, the man who was once broken becomes the man who cannot be shaken. Your emotions no longer control you, you control them. You master your reactions, your focus, your peace. You stop being defined by what happened to you and start being shaped by how you responded. That's true masculinity, not dominance, but composure. Not control over others, but mastery over self. You become calm, measured, and unbothered. She may never recognize this version of you, but that's because she was never meant to. The man she left behind was broken, the man you've become is untouchable. And that quiet strength becomes your greatest transformation. Time passes, and on the surface, she seems fine. She smiles for pictures, posts quotes about healing, and laughs in public like nothing ever touched her. But when the noise fades and she's alone, something feels off. There's a hollowness in her joy, a distance in her laughter. Every time she tries to convince herself that she's happy, it feels slightly forced. That's when guilt begins to whisper, not loudly, but quietly enough to unsettle her peace. She scrolls through old messages, revisits memories, not because she misses you entirely, but because she misses how you made her feel about herself. You were her calm, her safety, the mirror that reflected her best version. Now, all she has are fragments of that reflection scattered across people who don't see her the same way. She will meet others who might look better, talk smoother, or seem more exciting, but something will always be missing. It's not you she misses, it's the peace that came with you. The stability, the care, the sense of being understood without needing to perform. She'll compare that to the chaos she now calls freedom, and slowly, the realization will sink in. The independence she chased feels lonelier than she expected. The attention she once enjoyed feels empty. She'll start to feel guilt not because of what she did, but because she finally sees what she lost. Her smiles will fade quicker, her laughter won't last as long, and every "I'm fine" will echo with the truth she can't face. She'll grieve not for you, but for the version of herself that only existed when you were in her life, the softer, calmer, truer her. That version is gone now, and no matter how many distractions she finds, she'll never be able to resurrect it. By the time her guilt turns into regret, you'll already be gone, not physically distant, but spiritually unreachable. The man who once waited for closure no longer needs it. You've learned that peace doesn't come from someone saying sorry, it comes from accepting the silence and moving forward anyway. You stop searching for justice in the hearts of those who wronged you, because you realize that forgiveness was never for them, it was for you. Your calm becomes your armor, your growth becomes your revenge. She might think you've forgotten her, but it's deeper than that, you've outgrown her. The energy that once longed for her now fuels your purpose. You no longer chase validation, because you've built self-respect. You no longer crave her understanding, because you've made peace with your truth. The man who once loved her unconditionally now loves himself the same way. There's no anger left, no bitterness, just a quiet knowing that you survived what was meant to destroy you. That realization is freedom, the kind that can't be taken away, no matter who stays or leaves. And as life moves forward, she will feel the echo of your peace. It will linger in her thoughts whenever she meets someone new, whenever she realizes that no one offers the same depth, the same steadiness. But you won't feel the need to prove anything. Your silence will speak for you. Peace becomes your final word, your most powerful answer. In the end, you'll understand that closure is not something you get, it's something you become. You'll realize that your greatest revenge was never making her regret losing you, it was becoming the man she'll never find again. Because true power isn't in being remembered, it's in walking away completely free.